Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is SITI ROHAYU binti MOHAMED RODZI, MATRIC number 264091. Today, we would like to talk about the diffusion of innovation theory in educational technology field in Malaysia. As we know, since pandemic COVID-19 happens, there are many issues arise regarding to the educational technology among students, parents, teachers, and lecturers in Malaysia. Due to the closure of schools and universities, they have to adapt new educational technology as their medium of learning and teaching using using online system and technology in education. So we have chosen to adopt the diffusion of innovations theory because it seemed to be very useful in this digital era, especially in explaining this educational technology issue. Diffusion of innovation theory is one of the communication theory that have been introduced in early 1903 by Gabriel Trade, a French sociologist. Then in the 1915, Average and Rogers will extend and develop more about the theory until it became one of the most popular adoption model described by Rogers in his book, Diffusion of Innovation. This theory is developed to explain on how, why, and what level of new ideas and technology spread to all people. Diffusion is the process which an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among the members of a social system. Behind this meaning, we can see that there are four main elements of diffusion of innovation theory. First, we can see the innovation, communication channel, time, and lastly is social system. These elements are very important in order to spread innovation successfully through the population. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Holong Hui, matric number 255005. I'm going to discuss about a diffusion of innovation theories component. So here, the adoption curve show the types of personnel and their adoption rate of new technology in education. First, the innovators are eager to try new ideas so that their adventurous spirit has almost become an addiction. Innovators' interest in new ideas has freed them from their local peers and enter a more international social relationship than usual. Second, in most social systems, people in the early adopter category seems to have the highest degree of public opinion leadership. They provide advice and information on innovation sought by others adopters. Third is early majorities. The early majorities will adopt new ideas before the ordinary members of the social system. They often interact with their peers but do not often hold leadership position. Their innovation decision time is longer than that of innovators and early adopters because they spend some time before fully adopting new ideas. So for the fourth is most of the late majorities are the skeptical group, followed by an ordinary of the social system and adopted news idea. Their adoption may be due to economic needs and responses to increasing social pressure. The last adopted categories is laggards. The laggards are traditionalists and they are the last to adopt the innovation compared with other adopted categories. Laggards had almost no opinion leader status. They are fixed in the past and all decisions must be made based on the previous generation. Next, I'm going to explain more about the assumption of division of innovation theories. The first assumption of division of innovation theory is media as well as interpersonal context provide information and influence opinion and judgment. The mass media have strong effect on division that can spread rapidly the knowledge of innovation to large audience, so usually the marketers maximize the use of mass advertising to provide and promote on division of new products and services. The second assumption of division of innovation theory is innovation occurs in four stages, which is invention, diffusion through the social system, time, and consequences. Invention can affect the adoption of the new things that depends on the convenience, effectiveness, and more satisfying. Diffusion through social system is the way in which people use the information to form the same opinion. The consequences are change in individual or social system due to the adoption or rejection of innovation. The third assumption is that networks and opinion leaders determine the likelihood that the innovation will be adopted. The network is more than a simple information link between people. Opinion leaders who have much social experience are more influencing other people to change the attitude towards something new or innovation. So that's all from my presentation. I will pass to my members for more explanation.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is SYAFIQ bin ABDUL 255218. Today I want to explain how diffusion of innovation theory can be used to handle current issues in Malaysia. As we know, implementation of online learning has been practiced in developing countries for a long time since it is thought to offer many advantages and benefits. Most local colleges, public as well as private, like Malaysian schools, have no choice but to use virtual teaching and learning method to ensure that the teaching syllabus is properly implemented and that learning seasons are not disrupted. First is the social mechanism of change. In the research, the scientists found that there were practical implications of implementing transformational teaching in school with administrators, parents and other stakeholders. This is the line with the acceptance of new idea and innovation of RODZI. In that idea, Rogers described how the spread of innovation takes place in the social system as people go through a 5-step process to make difference in their work and life. First, they come to realize new ideas and begin to develop an understanding of the function of this innovation. Second, they will show a good or bad attitude toward this change. Third, they will decide whether to adopt or reject the innovation. Next, they will come up with new ideas and finally they will make a decision of evaluating the result of their implementation. Rogers' theory states that everyone will go through this step differently based on their response and acceptance of innovation. Second is school at a tipping point. Several factors influence the rate of use of new ideas and approach. Have these factors been implemented in education, such as how can teachers and administrators see this new idea or approach improve student academic performance? Second is whether this new approach fit with professional value and past teacher experience. Third, how can ideas can be conveyed with relevance if they are complex? Fourth, do teachers need to adopt this new approach through experimentation? Lastly, can the result be seen as more clearly the positive change being proposed? This theory of innovation is a turning point where new ideas have gained a lot of acceptance. The lesson of this transformation is to transfer effective educational practice and innovative to show a positive impact on the education system. Lastly, third is adopting innovation. For the school environment, the implementation of innovation takes place within the social system of a collaborative work environment. To make this happen, there are some effective strategies for making positive change in school or district below. First, the use of innovation must be repeated over and over in order to benefit from research in a variety of ways. Second, support from co-workers and influential administrators is crucial in the early adopter of the initiative to spread positive news to others. Third, support from the massa organization that promote policy change and procedures will facilitate the implementation of this innovation. And the last, the parties involved need to leverage the use of social network, electrical channels, and so on to make this innovation change. Thank you.
My name is Tang Yi, matrix number 261656. Now, I'm going to present the evaluation and critique of the theory. This theory reflects the significant progress over the concept of earlier restricted effects. It synthesized the existing statistical generalizations into a consistent perspective. Through this, we are able to increase our knowledgeable capacity. From this theory, we could see some advantages of diffusion of innovation in educational technology. It makes the learning process more convenient, interesting, and even more effectiveness so that students are able to search the knowledgeable materials anytime and anywhere. Besides strength, one of the weaknesses of this theory in educational technology is that social norms and standards of acceptance into society greatly outweigh the idea of taking on a new innovation. For example, gamification. In social norms, playing games will make people distracted and unable to concentrate on learning. This may cause using gamification method in the classroom for learning become ridiculous and hard to accept by the society. In the perspective of parents and teachers, social norms and standards of acceptance greatly outweigh the idea of taking on the gamification in the classroom. Thus, this may make the diffusion of innovation in educational technology become more challenging due to the degree of being difficult to be accepted by the society. Comes to the critique of this theory. This theory does not quite give a clear prediction of how the innovation will be successful after going through the S-curve. This is because diffusion is hard to quantify due to the complexity of human networks. With this, it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to measure what exactly causes adoption of an innovation. In this case, that is diffusion of innovation theory in educational technology, people who encourage adoption of educational technology need to be aware of the various forces that acting on the decision of whether students, teachers, lecturers, or even a non-educational individual to adopt a new technology in education. Many critical predictors of adoption might miss because this theory can never account for all variables. This variety of variables has led to inconsistent results in research. Thus, the heuristic value is reducing. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Vivian and my MATRIC number is 261591. So come to the last part, our conclusion. To our team research, the diffusion of innovation theory in Malaysia educational technology field can be clearly seen during this pandemic of COVID-19. Since NCO start, all the entire educational sector, no matter kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, IPTA or even IPTS, are forced to close down by the Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia (KPM), and all the students and lecturers have to adapt to the new educational technology as their medium of learning and teaching. For example, our UUM are currently using online learning and WebEx. Thus, in our cases, the diffusion time taken by different categories to adapt educational technology are followed by 4 steps, which is early adopt, early majority, late majority, and laggards. The current issue in Malaysia educational technology field are there are still many Malaysian citizens who lack of accessibility to internet, or maybe they have no digital device such as laptop and smartphone to attend their online education. Most of the local and private university like Malaysian school have no choice to use the virtual teaching and learning method to ensure that they are able to follow the teaching syllabus. Thus, our team provide 4 ways to handle this issue, which are social motion of change, school at the tipping point, and adopting innovation. So last but not least, the strength of this theory are we are able to increase our knowledgeable capacity. Besides, technology is changing the dynamic of education from time to time. Thus, technology is reshaping the education around the world. So in a conclusion, the critique of diffusion of innovation theory does not quite give a clear prediction and instruction on how innovation will be success after going through the S-curve. That's all from my part. Thank you.